What is something really basic that you're terrible at? Simple subtraction. Quick. What's 20-16? F me. I was not prepared to do advanced calculus at lunch today. Mom. Smell talk. I don't know how some people can chat away for so long saying so little. If you leave that up to me, we're just going to sit here quietly. Walking through doorways. I am certain that I am centered in the doorway. And then I bump my shoulder on the side. I always seem to be physically located 3 or 4 inches to the right of where I think I am. I run into tables a lot for the same reason. Some days I feel like a pinball. Just bouncing off everything as I go through my house. Mimic or mirror a dance. Yoga. Or aerobic instructor at the front of the class. My brain takes the info in. My body does the opposite. Telling people my condolences. Deleted. Talking. I swear. Genius thoughts run through my head all the freaking time. But whenever I decide to open my big fat pie hole to verbalize it, a boatload of irritating, confusing sh comes out. And then everyone just stares at me like I'm a freak. I hate myself. Parallel parking. I have been driving for over 10 years and still avoid this like death because I'm rubbish at it. Just lack spatial awareness, but I've never crashed except once when someone hit me. I can cook an elaborate meal, but I burn microwave popcorn every time. Snapping my goddamn fingers. I just clap quietly. Drinking pills and tablets. I always end up crying out of frustration and anxiety. I can drink the little ones though. But still. I can't understand how people do it so easily. Makeup. I'm so horrible at it and I try to practice every so often but I just suck. I feel bad for my daughter. If I ever have one. And she wants me to teach her how to put makeup on. Tying my shoes like a normal person. I can't do the trick with the bunny ears. I spent months constantly trying when I was little. But I couldn't do it. I eventually gave up. And did my own way of taking the loops and crossing them like the first knot. Throwing and catching. I've no hand-eye coordination. When I ask someone to hand me something, e.g. keys, and they toss them to me, the keys will inevitably land on the floor 99% of the time. Same when I attempt to toss something into the trash. It's hopeless. Falling asleep. It should be the easiest thing in the world but I almost always struggle with it. Blowing a bubble with bubble gum. Consistently wanting to stay alive. Things will be great and I'll feel great. And then depression strikes and things are still great but you'd rather be dead. Get your act together. Brain. I'm really bad at wrapping gifts. No matter how many ways I've been taught. They always end up looking like I don't give a flying fuck. Directions. I never have any concept of what direction I'm traveling in, NESW, when I'm driving. And if I miss one single turn, quickly thinking of an alternate route equals near impossibility. I really have terrible social skills. Not only am I not able to have conversations with people, I am also really bad at picking up humor and sarcasm. It happens all the time. Especially at work. What happened recently was at work. Because I was away for too long. They had to close my file and we went through the process of reopening it so I could work again. My boss jokingly asked, "You're still bilingual?" And I didn't understand it was a joke until he laughed. I answered super seriously. Then smiled as saying, "Haha, yes, a joke, I totally understood, haha." But it was a lie. When someone asks me a question, even if it seems mundane and dumb, I always second guess what I consider to be obvious so I answer seriously. It's embarrassing. Life organization. Stuff like folding laundry and putting it away. Making my bed. Cleaning every now and then. Planning ahead and anything having to do with folders. For paper. Not computers. Tearing paper along perforations. It doesn't matter how slowly I do it, 99% of the time I end up ripping the edge off the paper. Keeping in contact with friends and family. I can go months without talking to people outside of work. Being out at a pub club in a social situation. Every time. Everything about it. Having a drink. Holding a drink. Not having a drink. Being bought a drink. Spending too much time thinking about how and when to repay the favor of having been bought a drink. Worrying that I was unable to get someone a drink in return. Hearing what people are saying. Thinking of something to say. Standing at the bar. Standing on a dance floor. Standing by a table. Sitting down. Dancing. Nodding my head to a beat. Not moving to a song. People watching. Trying not to stare at people. Wondering what time I should leave. Standing in the queue to get in, worrying about how much it might cost to get in. Who to talk to next. Being cut off mid-sentence. Talking to strangers. Going to toilet. Ordering a drink. Leaving my coat somewhere. And so on. All things I can manage anywhere else. Squats with a bar and weights. Can do the bar just fine. Put even 20 pounds on it and I can't get the posture correct anymore. Tried it with a chair. Tried it with a friend. My legs and back just experience some critical error and have to ESC out. Social interactions. I'm high functioning and therefore don't see things the way most people do. Which means I constantly have to take a step back to ask myself what they mean or think. It's exhausting. I guess I tie my shoes wrong. Because they always come undone. I also hold my pencil wrong. As a little kid, I had low muscle tone. Therefore poor fine motor skills. As my printing was much improved with me holding the pencil wrong. Teachers just allowed it. Navigation. I can't get anywhere without GPS. I can be with people all day. But when I have something important to say, I can't. I just ramble and stumble on my words. Spelling. I can't spell worth a shit. I'm 31 and I Google simple words to double check spelling. My entire brain focuses on creativity and design and has no room for words. Collect my money from the cashier and put it in my wallet without having a small panic attack because there are people in line behind me. I can't say 3. My first language is German and I can do Azents perfectly fine. But I can't seem to grasp the combination of them. Especially embarrassing since I talk English all day long. Late to the party but cracking eggs. Always make a nice little crack, then my big fat sausage fingers break their way in and shatter the shell and or the yolk. Handshakes. Like. The traditional formal handshake is straightforward enough, although I'm always worried I'll either go too hard and look like an arsehole trying to crush their hand or go too soft and look spineless. But then my friends will throw different variations in with hand twists and half hugs and back pats and I never have any idea which way it's going to go and I usually frown at the whole awkward encounter. Doesn't help my hands get sweaty when I'm nervous. Being healthy. In the past 2 months I had the flu, a kidney infection, and pneumonia. I have had about 5 healthy days in there and have felt terrible for the rest of the time. I legitimately don't know how much longer I can go on like this and no doctors have had any answers besides that's weird for someone so young. I get the flu and pneumonia every fall. Sometimes more than once. I cannot understand lyrics upon hearing them. Nor can I remember them once reading them. Running. It's either an anime girl run or a Napoleon Dynamite run and there is no in between. I can't write you a note. When I write something down it's always in code. But when I say code, I mean my penmanship is just so poor that no one besides me can read it. Drinking anything. Water. Soda. Lemonades. Whatever. I always seem to either spill the sh on me. Or inhale it. Or if it's potatoes or spotted dick, I freaking swallow too hard and have to clench my chest. I'm fucking tired or something. I can't swing on a swing set. I don't know how other people do it. Doesn't it violate Newton's third law of motion? So anyway, I obey the laws of physics. My coordination is fricked. Often trip on my feet just walking around. I'm blessed with some good balance or something. However, whenever I'm in the middle of a bad fall I can find a way to land on feet. Balancing. I've always had shitty balance. But the medication I'm taking at the moment gives me tremors which appears to have completely ruined my ability to move on even slightly treacherous terrain, e.g. showering. Not sure what I can do about it either. Which is less than ideal. Distinguishing left from right. I have an awkwardly long response time whenever I have to process a direction. I think it's too late to act on it though. Putting on makeup. Besides mascara. Using a curling iron. Making an omelette. It just turns into scrambled eggs. Whistling. And snapping my fingers. Reverse 90-degree parking. Although, I can do a parallel parking on either side of the street. Without any issues. I used to live in the city and park in the street. I became really good at it really fast. When I moved into the suburbs, I had to do a lot more reverse 90-degree parking but I can't seem to improve. I envy you people with your fancy new cars and your backup camera systems. Spelling things out loud. My ability to spell things on paper is okay. Probably above average. But I can't spell anything out loud without reducing it to phonetic sounds. Knowing left and right. I have to raise my hand and point half the time. I have no idea why. I've tried to get it but my brain will not auto-recognize. I always set microwave popcorn for 5 minutes. Then once it starts popping I start counting. Every time I hear one pop the count starts over. If I get to 7 seconds without a pop, then I stop it. Works every time. Doesn't matter the microwave. Doesn't matter the brand of popcorn. It never burns.